I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient, and soon it can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous, is the world honestly burning? That's all I'm learning. Hope that we can make a turn and start reversing all our minds and put the work in. We got some work, man. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tied up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, we made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass half wish. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the red inside a payphone. Just wanna break, no, I'm not gonna give in. Take a last shot, Michael J. Win. No, I'm not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost when thoughts pull you in. I miss the old you, we died with a purpose. All the energy around me felt nervous, scared I would pop out fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had a given art, but now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card. A royal flush of bluff, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at. I'ma fight like I'm mad, I'ma be something that they can never be me. Nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything while they stay salty. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Let's go. Yeah, I'm like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
And I was on mute, so I am back. Here we go. Sorry about that. Of course, I had to mess it up, but today is completely unscripted. All right, so I have not planned anything pre-show. We are just sitting down because I had some time. So get your coffee, get your drinks, whatever it is you do on Sunday Fun Day, and we're gonna look at some charts and we're gonna see what is actually going on, because hundreds of millions of dollars have been liquidated today alone. A little bit of news came out today. I don't think it should have shook the market the way it did, but here nor there, let's go ahead and start taking a look at some things. But of course, I got to give you guys some shout outs here in the chat. Thank you for being here. Obviously, this was a completely ad hoc show, so for you guys to show up is absolutely awesome. I love it. You guys are family. But hey, French Toaster, hola my friend, how you doing? Dylan VA, hi, how are you? Jesse Good Looks in the house. K Diggity, no doubt he's in here as well. And then my dude Harp. Yep, what's this, man? Hey man, we're just winging it today. We're winging it. Sit down and just chat with the fam. You know, things are looking a little crazy, so why not look at the charts together and let's just find some important key areas. So this again will all be pretty much live. I only pulled a couple news articles. But that being said, let's continue on. Robert Mulligan, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. And of course, Retro Mike Tech, my dude, is in the house. Dave Digital, how you doing, brother? And who else do we got? We got Crypto Cash. He said he's looking for 50K for sure. All right, Crypto Cash, you are guaranteeing you. I'm gonna hold you to it. I don't know if that's gonna be the case. I think there's some key levels that we got to get through first before we start talking about 50K, but we shall see, right? We shall see. There's definitely it's always on the table. It is always on the table, we'll say that. Let's continue to roll down here through the chat. Mute it. Yep, I hear no music, no sound. All right, I think we're good now. I don't see anything more. Maybe Band-Aid, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, let's go ahead and get on with the show. Let's go ahead. I got a couple articles here. Let me go ahead and pull those up right now. And actually, you know what? We're going to look at the bubbles first. We are doing a little bit out of order today, a little bit different than what I'm used to doing. And I only have one screen. This is a very minimal setup, just so you guys know. I'm kind of doing this one on the fly, tray fly. You know how I roll. All right, so crypto bubbles. You can see it is red AF out there. It is not looking great. There is no doubt about that. Let me go ahead and click on this real quick. Just want to make sure that everything looks proportional, and it does. All right, let's keep it going. All right, so PI, big loser. That is down 24.3%. Jasmine down 16.4%. PayPay's down 13.5%. Who else is down? Link is down. Floki's down. Big. I mean, a couple of these are losing big. Now, PI, I'm not surprised to see that. Not that I'm saying it's something bad. I'm just not surprised to see it because it had such an exponential move up. That was definitely before my vacay, but of course, seeing a little bit of a pullback makes a lot of sense. Pulse X, that is also down. Let me go ahead, and I don't know if the music is still coming through for you guys, but it is definitely coming through for me. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. All right, looking through here, XRP is down 10%. Don't like to see that. Render's down 12.4%. It was having a little bit of move. I was trying to check the charts a little bit while I was on the cruise. The internet was horrendous. Injective is down 14.2%. As you can see, a lot of red on the board. Okay, no big surprise. Bitcoin's pulling back. The rest of the market follows along. It's same old story we've always known. All right, let's look at liquidations. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. There's been a lot of liquidations in the market over the past 24 hours. 183,000 traders were liquidated. I ain't gonna say you, right? Because I know you guys, the audience, you guys hopefully listen a little bit here. We definitely tell you to protect your money. But darn, these people, they're gluttons. They're gluttons for punishment, and I'm gonna show you why here in a moment, because I'm gonna go over to the heat map. But total liquidations came in at $452 million. That is straight crazy. All right, so let's look at the liquidation heat map. Gonna move that around here. But this is what I'm talking about. And this is why I tell you, bring this into your scan. Please bring it into your scan if you're an active trader. Okay, and even if you're doing swing trades, I would recommend bringing this into your scan as well. And this is why. Okay, you saw this huge area of consolidation, right? Consolidate. What happened? Well, liquidity started building up. And again, understanding how this chart works is very key to analyzing it, right? Not just saying, well, liquidity's here, liquidity's there. I mean, because liquidity was here. And if you would have took half of this chart, right, when this first started, you would look and you'd be like, okay, there's a little bit of liquidity there, no biggie. But as price continued to consolidate, as it stayed in this range, a very, very tight range, there's two things that I want you to take note of. When it started to consolidate, where did it enter? Okay, so this is one thing that a lot of people, I don't think, really talk about much. They're just like, it's in a symmetrical triangle. It's in an area of consolidation. But one of the factors, if you start to kind of analyze this a little bit, and it's only a small statistical change, but is how did the price action enter into that period of consolidation? Did it come from below, or did it, in this case, come from above, right? So as it entered into this area of consolidation, the momentum is in what direction? The momentum is working down, right? The trend is down. We can confirm that once we get to the charts, but we got into the consolidation and liquidity came in hot. Like the price didn't even move. Like it was consolidating, and it was consolidating in a very tight range. It didn't even move. So the fact that people were coming in so hard in the paint with this liquidity is kind of wild to me, to be honest with you. But here nor there. I mean, you know me, like I'm saying, hey, one, which way's the trend? And then where's the liquidity? Price action will probably go there. And here we are. It has wiped out all of that liquidity. You saw it get a little bounce here, more liquidity coming in. So that's why I say people are kind of gluttons for punishment. It is very, very interesting to see, people taking those positions in such a tight range. But that's why I love this chart. This is why I like to look at it. And I always bring it up to you guys. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll go over to the news. It's only a couple segments. It's really just Orange Man talking about a couple things here. We'll watch those together. Hopefully I can get the audio to come through, and then we will get into the charts and we'll start looking at some key levels and where could price go? Where could we find some price action? And then we'll kind of go from there. Let me get over to the chat, though. I think I see some otters in the chat. I'm only catching a little glimpse here. So if my man Alex O is in here, I do want to say what's up to him. That's my dude, my bro, my twinsy, my guy. What's up, man? How you doing? And All Set's in here with a hey, fam. How are you, All Set? Good to see you. Good to see you. Sam, he said, hey, y'all, what's up? Bingo, bango. You must be friend of Joe, huh? But good to see you here. Thanks for stopping by. RS Miller 747. Good afternoon to you. And Rich Toaster said, schlonging it. Hey, man, I mean, you are getting down to some areas right now. Two things are happening. One, a lot of the liquidity has been cleared off the books. And two, you are getting into some areas that we've had bounces to already. Now, I'll go back to the charts and get some confirmation of that, but I'm pretty confident we've been here before. So there could be an opportunity to see a little bit of a bounce. All right, come on, everybody. Hit that like button. I would appreciate it. That would be super nice of y'all. But all right, let's go. Let's go ahead and get over. Let's listen to Orange Man talk here for a minute. Make sure I got that all set up. Get my wave link going. And let's see here. That is not going yet, but it is now. Okay, so here we go.
He's done is unbelievable. Now, you could then add some, well, but what about he's found hundreds of billions of dollars worth of fake contracts, and I read them, just a tiny portion of them, the other night. Transgender surgery on mice. Hundreds of, I mean, the money they're spending on all of this stuff. The whole thing's a scam. And you'll find ultimately that the money that they sent comes back to a lot of the people that made those deals, okay? You're going to find that. What he's also done is made people realize how many people should be cut. Because normally you go in and you say, all right, cut 4% of your workforce. He said cut 50%, 60%, 70%. That's a big thing. Now, he's done a great job. He's done.
So there you go. That's actually the reason for the title. I pulled the okey doke on you. But this is something that you guys have heard FD talk about quite a bit when he was on the show, right? He mentioned it a lot of times. He was like, it's basically a Ponzi scheme of sorts. And what is happening is they're coming up with these crazy initiatives and these things that we are, as taxpayers, are sending our money to, and it is somehow finding its way back to the people that sign the deal. Now, what's going on, I think, is DOGE is coming in, and I think he has some of the G's in the space, right? I think he's got some really, really smart people. They're probably doing almost like forensics, in a sense, on a lot of these transactions and where this money is going and how it's moving around. And dude, I mean, we haven't had something like this where people are really digging in to this information, maybe not ever. To be real with you, we may have never had this before, and I think it's long overdue. Now, the thing that kind of sucks is that people are losing their jobs, right? But in the same token, we've done it to ourselves, right? In a sense, we've created all of these government jobs that really probably shouldn't have been created from the get-go, to be honest, right? To be real. Now, it does have impacts on real people and people that probably do a good job and should have, a position in the government. And that's what we got to filter through right now. So it's going to be chaos. It's going to suck. I do feel genuinely bad for some people because they deserve it. There are some hardworking people that I know that, really can have a tangible impact. But right now it's going to be ugly. But we got to clean it up. We have to clean it up because it is for the greater good long term. All right, let's go over to the next little video I got here. Let's bring that up and let's get this going.
We'll also explore new pathways to accumulate additional Bitcoin holdings for the reserve, provided it's done at no cost to the taxpayers. We don't want any cost to the taxpayers. In addition, my order directs federal agencies to conduct an inventory of all crypto assets currently held by the U.S. government and determine how they can be transferred easily to the Treasury. Non-Bitcoin digital currencies will also explore new pathways to accumulate additional Bitcoin.
So there you go. Now that is actually bullish, right? This is kind of what we have been waiting for, is that we are not only going to create a reserve, but they are going to accumulate Bitcoin, right? Not just stuff that they've confiscated. So this is good. They're still exploring it. I think they're still just figuring out how they're going to do it. I know a lot of people are very impatient and they're like, they want it now. But I mean, in terms of a president that's actually following through on some of his promises throughout the campaign, I haven't seen anything like this, to be real with you. And, I am trying to say as unbiased and, like split, right? Understand both sides of the coin at all times. But I have a hard time going back in life since I've been able to personally vote. And that's been more than 20 years now, and found a president that was like, hey, we're going to do this. And like, this dude is just doing it. He has nothing to lose. Understand that. He has nothing to lose. Why? Because he can't be elected again. So this man is going in and he is swinging. Now the issue, like, and I won't even say the issue, it's all got to play out now. We got to see, like, is this going to have a tangible effect? Is this going to be for the greater good long-term? Short-term pain for long-term gain, right? I mean, we'll see. It's all to be determined. But I honestly, in my heart, think it's probably the best for us. All right, so enough of the craziness, enough of the politics, enough of the orange man. Let's go ahead and get over to the charts, because really, that is the most important thing today. So let me double check, make sure that is looking good. And it is. All right, so let's look at the charts. Let's do this. Okay, so let's start it off. We're on the daily. All right, so we're going to look kind of big to small here. We've talked about the liquidity, where that was at. And, you know, it has cleared most of that out. Now, if you zoom out on the heat map, there is some liquidity that is still below us. And that does align with some very, very key levels. And we'll talk about that here. Now, the first thing I want you to look at, though, is the 200 SMA. Okay, the 200 SMA is this red line right here. We are currently underneath of the 200 SMA. That if we close underneath the 200 SMA, let me just say that is likely bearish, okay? Because we have maintained the 200 SMA for a significant amount of time, and that is a lot of people's indicator, at least for the trend, okay? So above the 200, kind of trending, you know, up and right, and maintaining that, using it as support, usually lets you kind of confirm that you have a bullish sentiment. Right now we're testing that, and we're testing that again. Now, understand that we still have another 6 hours, 5 hours, 44 minutes until we close the daily close underneath the 200 SMA. Let's go ahead and look at that. Let's see, when is the last time that we have actually seen a close under the 200 SMA? So it is right here, and that was October of 24. All right, so you did see we spent a little time underneath of it, kind of going back and forth, ultimately to break it and then retest what was resistance and then kind of work its way up and right. So is all lost? No. Can we close under the 200 SMA or the 200 SMA and still remain bullish? Yes, we can. Okay, but it's one of those times where we have now broken, I won't say major structure, because I'm going to show you why that is here in a second, that we still can go down and still keep a bullish structure, but we're starting to lose key levels. All right, sequentially we are losing key levels here, and you know that's when your spidey senses have to tingle a little bit. All right, you got to be a little cautious with what's going on, because you know we've talked about this trend line, which has been a banger, right? That goes back to 2021, and it's been a money printer. All right, support. I mean, it was 5 times we were able to play that until we finally lost it. This is what I don't like, though, looking at it on the daily. You can tell it's a key level. It is important. Why is it important? Because we came back up to retest it and we reject it. All right, so we rejected off of that area that was support, and then we had that continuation of the movement, or the trend, really, because I mean, this trend has really started since we've had our all-time high, where you're seeing a series of lower highs. All right, so we're moving down. All right, now you're starting to see the dynamic reactor flip. See the little waffle there? Now it's purple. All right, it's starting to flip. It's starting to indicate that we're getting some bearish sentiment in the market. And I mean, we're, you know, $20-some thousand off the high at this one, almost $30,000 off the high. So we're moving in the wrong direction. All right, we do need to see this kind of flip, and you want to start seeing some higher lows and higher highs. But I mean, you can see where the money flow point of control is, and you can really see where we're going to have resistance. There's definitely going to be some up around 93K or so. You have the money flow point of control. You have a horizontal level. You got a lot lining up, and not only that, you got the dynamic reactor. We know that's pretty fire for acting as support. It's just an algorithmic, like, moving average, right? It kind of takes a lot of things, incorporates it into one, but somehow, some way, it seems to act as support and resistance as price action is moving. So again, we got a lot to work through right here. So where's your hopium at, right? Where can we find some movement, some bounces? I mean, you still have the yearly pivot. You got the 0.5. This is from the macro. So the previous range low. All right, the previous range low, I did a fib retracement off of that. I'm not going to do it because I got enough lines on this chart as it is, but that's the 0.5. You got to trust me. All right, so I just went ahead, labeled it there, yearly pivot, 0.5, all kind of lines up in one area. You also have the previous range here before we actually, it's not even a range. It's so small, it's hard to call it a range, but there was a pit stop. All right, on the daily, and then it worked its way up. If you take it to the 4 hour, you'll see a little bit more of some price action there. But understand there is a little bit of price action in this area to kind of align really with what we're looking at. All right, so I know someone said schlong it earlier. I think that might have been French toaster, but you can see right here, we did get a very significant bounce off of this area at about 81. We'll just call it 4, 81.4, 81.5. Look at that right there where we had a rejection. So what do we do? We flipped resistance into support, And then we got confirmation of that. Now we're coming back down to retest. Okay, so yes, could you see price action off of this area? Yes, you could. Is very much in play. Again, thinking about liquidity and where that's sitting at, that has been kind of taken off the books for the most part. All right, it's kind of dark, right? I tell you, people get kind of beaten into submission. We come back, we look at that right now, and you can see there's not a lot of liquidity here. All right, it's a little dark, especially around 81K. That's usually what you want to see if you're hoping for a reversal. I mean, there can be news-driven articles, or there can be bearish sentiment, or maybe Japan or Asia, or another market is suffering right now, China, whatever the case may be. That could ultimately drive down price action for Bitcoin, because you got to think Bitcoin is universal. It is not U.S. based. It's not North American based. There's as many people across the world or in other countries, that have Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Like, this is worldwide. So understand that the other markets can have an impact on our market and cryptocurrency as well. So just always keep that in the back of your mind. If they're suffering, they could sell off, or whatever the case may be. But just understand that is kind of why we kind of look at some of the other world markets as well. But again, could you see a bounce? Yeah, you totally could see a bounce. You might even see this turn into a wick, right? Because you can see the 200 SMA. Look how far it came down underneath of it. This is a daily. This is a daily candle. All right. And then it recovered. So I would say, like, if you're looking to try to take a swing trade, I could see the thought process there. For sure, I could see the thought process there, understanding that it has acted as support. It came down to a pretty critical level in terms of a horizontal, the 200 SMA. I get it. There's a few things that line up. I'll leave it at that. So what else can we look at if price action continues to work its way down? Well, you have the median of the range, okay? So remember, we've been looking at that range quite a bit. You can see acted as resistance, came down. It's not going to be perfect. Little retest, off and away. Price action has never come back. We've never come back. And that's something that you need to understand. We have never come back to retest what was resistance and flip it into support. We've never done that. Not since, November? Early November. Okay, so early November since we've been back here to kind of look at that. And then you do have some other things that are lining up. Now, this is the zone I kind of want to point out to you, right? You got some trend lines. You got a lot of things that are just kind of lining up into one area, showing you some confluence, which is Alex O's favorite word that I use. All right, Darren does things. What's up, man? Checking out the chat real quick. What's up, fam? All but on the plus side. Got a puppy yesterday. Alex O, 10K subs. Life is good. You know it, man. You know it. Thanks for being here, Darren. I appreciate it. For sure, man. Let's see. Who else we got here? Gotta head out. Probably catch up later on BGT. Yeah, Billy I think they do get on Sundays, don't they? Confluence, my man. All right. So one of the things that I want you to look at is just everything that's happening right here. Okay. And this is why I feel strongly about this area, and not saying that I feel strongly in this area as in it has to be a magnet, it has to come here. But I would feel comfortable with taking a swing trade in this area. Why? Why would I feel comfortable about that? You have previous resistance, okay? You got a little bit of a zone. You can see all these areas where it's rejected a bunch of times. And ultimately, before we made our move up, what do? Resistance again. And then this is where you get those little movements where it clears out the liquidity and then takes off. So this is like your last little, let's shake them. And then it moves. It happens all the time with big moves. You'll see this little shakeout before a big move up. And then, you have that little retest here. It gets on top of previous resistance. And we've talked about that. But again, we've never come back to retest. So not only have we not retested the median, we haven't retested the horizontal level of resistance. And it's also the golden pocket. All right. It is the golden pocket of the range. So there's a lot lining up here. Anywhere in this, we'll say zone. Okay. I'm going to bring this down just just a little bit. I almost said a word that I shouldn't have said, but around 74K, down to 70, right? So it is a big gap. I'll give you that. Hey, thanks for being specific, TradeFly. Yeah, I got it. If you don't want to miss the move, then, maybe 74K is the play for you. But the other thing that lines up is there's liquidity here. So when you go to the liquidation heat map and you go to the 6 month, all right, you have the 6 month. So you're zooming out, right? You're saying, where's the bulk of liquidity on the map right now? It's in this area. All right. So it's in this area. So now we have like 4, 5 different things kind of lining up into one area. Here's your hopium. Let's zoom out and let's look at this from an actual zoomed out perspective. Now, don't worry about all the numbers and all this craziness I got going on here. I'm just doing some measurements. Let's get rid of these. Clear it up just a little bit. But now look at it. This isn't that bad, right? Now look what we did here. When we had this really big move up, okay, so 2021, all right, we had that big move up, all right, we set the high. We had a pullback. How big was the pullback? Let's measure it. 50 to 56%, all right? So 56%. You got a 56% pullback. And then what do? We set another all-time high. Now, ultimately, we had, economic factors that were going on in conjunction with that. So we set an all-time high. We get a black swan, essentially. Depends on, how you want to see it. But then we set the all-time high. Then we started entering into a recession as a product of a event, right? A significant event. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. I think we can say it again, but the virus that was going around, that had a massive effect on the American economy. We shut down the economy. Like we shut down businesses. We made, in some places, people stay home. What do you think was going to happen? All right. It's lagging. So when the economy, starts catching up with everything that had happened, we had a pullback. I don't think this was any kind of surprise. I don't think it was weird at all. We artificially inflated, or not inflated, but we pushed money into the economy, stimulated the economy to keep it afloat, right? And where'd that money go? I mean, people started investing in meme coins and craziness and crypto. Anyways, so market pulls back. Cool, we got that. But it's looking kind of similar, right? And you're also keeping a bullish structure. Like even if you're come down to the 618, the 65, right? And you just flip resistance into support, it's not a bad thing. It's kind of healthy. It's kind of normal. And I would like to see that. What's going to happen here? Well, let me explain this to you because we've talked about it before. What happens when we get these big pullbacks? A few things in my mind happen. All right, the maker is happy. Why is the maker happy? He clears out the liquidity. Okay, so they are essentially wiping out retail. Okay, so they get liquidity, and this is on derivatives. Okay, so if you're taking leverage positions and putting your stop losses, yada, 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 the retail, the weak hands, they get shook out. So they get shook out. And then institutional investment can come in. So this is the tried and true thing with just basic investing, especially if you're talking about institutions, whales, smart money, essentially. When we sell as retail, they then have the opportunity to buy. And what you look for there, this is why we always lose in comparison. We always lose in comparison because they get in first and then we follow. Do you have the perseverance? Do you have the, wherewithal to follow? Because essentially that's what you have to do is you'll see volume come into the market, big volume, price gets a nice move, and then we're slow to the game, right? Because we're waiting for that signal. We're waiting for that opportunity to jump in, and you essentially got to almost wait to see that institutions have gotten in for you to feel comfortable. right? It's a psychological thing that you have to think about. You need to feel comfortable with your entry. All right. Not everybody is DGens. And then at that point, when things get weird, what's going to happen later on, and I do this all the time. I not all the time, but one of the things I like to do, and it's a little harder with Bitcoin, but you'll see it with smaller caps, is take a line through the volume and just find the average. And when you find the average there, you'll start seeing spikes. All right, those spikes a lot of times you're going to see not in confluence, but in conjunction with some of your support and resistance levels. Well, that's when the institutions are getting in. And so they'll get in first, you'll get in second, and then what will happen is something will happen, or they'll sell off. All right, you get that big spike with price action, and all the volume comes in, and they get out. Right, that cut there, right? It'll be about sometimes 75, 100 some percent, right? That's their profit. And then we get shook out, right? As price continues to work its way down, we're like, oh no. Like we don't want to lose. And then so we'll only get 20, to 30%. Now it's still winning, right? If you jumped in. That's not if you FOMO'd in, because we have a lot of people that FOMO in once price gets going up. They're like, I don't want to miss this. It got Bitcoin's over $100,000. It's going to 150. That's the narratives. It's going to 200. It's going to $1 million. Michael Saylor's feeding us all this BS sometimes. I thank you for holding up the market, my friend, but screw you for telling people it's going to these crazy numbers when it's only at 100,000. So blessing and a curse, my friend, for the market. But that being said, so you get those people that FOMO in, and then they get hit as price action is working its way down, and then they get shook out, and then they don't want to invest in crypto again, right? Same thing over and over again. It happens all the time. That's why we were preaching, like, have a plan and take your profits. Like most of you that were watching the channel, once Bitcoin was over $100,000, you guys, most of you had gotten in well before $100,000. I'd say a lot of you probably got in probably between 30 to 50 to 60, right? Once the market started moving again. So that's that thing I'm talking about. Institutions come in at pretty much the bottom, and then we start coming in, 30, 40, 50 as retail. Now, I know some of you got in under that. I get it. You were smart. You DCA'd in, all that, or you got the bottom. Some of you did. Most of you didn't. So we get in, and then here we are now. The gap is closing again, right? So if you get in around 50 to 60, the gap is now closing. You're getting at $80,000, You're getting a little nervous, right? Is it time to sell? Is it time to take profit? That's the great debate that starts to happen with us in our investments. And that's just the thing that just happens. It happens over and over again. So, as FD said when he was on there, when you start wearing the sunglasses and think you're king dingaling, you done made it, you might want to start thinking about taking some profit, maybe moving out your initial investment, play on house money. You got to realize the gains at some point. And I know some people's plan is more long term, and they're willing to hold for another 5 to 6 years. Power to you. Like I understand that. I do have that separate bag. There's no doubt about it. There are some things I am going to hodl. I got it. I'm with you. But if you're a trader, then you got to realize your gains at some point. You got to realize you got to take profits, DCA in, DCA out, have a plan. There's no doubt about that. I did see a super chat here. You guys know I don't come up for air much here. And there she is, Alexandra G. Thank you, lady. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Glad you could be here this weekend. For sure. So again, ad hoc show, just jumping on here. Wanted to kind of look at some charts with you, talk a little bit. Who else we got in here? Say what's up to some people. Crypto Princess, how you doing, lady? She is she's been very active in our community here lately. She's doing a lot of good interviews. I like what she's doing. I think it's super cool. It's really given a lot of creators an opportunity outside of their traditional networks and channels to really just say, hey, this is how I got here. This is what I did. We don't really get those opportunities all that much. So thank you for being here. Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate you. And then Crypto Pollo gifting 5 Piper Academy memberships. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. See who got them. Let's see who got them. Scrolling down. There it is. All right, we got Dual DC. He was gifted a membership. Mike Vollmer, there you go. Mike Vollmer was first in the chat, by the way. So congrats on getting a membership. That's super cool. Crypto Sammy, what's up to you, BSM? And that is it in terms of the membership. So here we go. Really pondering to all the angry new crypto investors with the title. LOL. Yeah, pandering, sorry. Yeah, I know. Like it is what it is. But if you were watching the video earlier, really it was based on what Trump was talking about. And it's kind of more related to the government than it is to crypto itself. But that being said, the market is pulling back, and it is a great opportunity for us to look at the charts and just see, like, are we still good here? And I'm going to tell you right now, yes, we're okay right now. Okay, we are okay. Again, we were streaming for the profit taking, over 100K. Now it's up to you, right? We're getting into that weird middle ground of keeping that bullish structure. Let's go back to the charts here. And what's kind of next, and where can we go? And that's what I really want to point out to you guys, that we do have opportunities that are inbound. Okay, there are opportunities inbound. There's no doubt about it here. And I feel pretty strongly about this area. Like, you guys knew I felt strongly about this trend line here. We broke it, we retested it. And I mean, when we retested it, the writing was on the wall, unfortunately, that we were going to have some movement down. We also got a weekly close underneath of it. And actually, you know what? I take that back. Funny enough, we did not get the weekly close. This candle started right over top of the trend line there. So we didn't get a weekly close. We got to ride that one out. And the weekly close will happen in 5 hours and 23 minutes. So we will get a weekly close underneath of it. But look how hard it rejected off of that level. But anyways, this it all brings me back to here. Okay, so this for me, I would say, is kind of the line in the sand, in terms of, like, are we going to keep this bullish structure for our current trend? And our current trend, I'm going to say, really goes back to the bear market lows. So when we're saying bear market lows and the trend that we've been in since January of 2022, I believe, is it 22 or 23? It's 23. So January of 23, the trend has been, our friend, and it has been bullish for quite some time. We got to maintain this. And if we do, it's healthy, it's cool, we're all Gucci. Lather in, like, if you're in and you want to lower your base, your cost basis, getting into something, you're going to have so many opportunities, especially with some of the altcoins. If you're bullish on any of those, there's definitely going to be some opportunities if Bitcoin pulls back here, because they are already, a lot of them, sitting at bear market lows or close to it. But you have seen, as Bitcoin has gotten underneath of this channel, they have now started to move a little bit more parallel, vice having those exponential moves. So it's almost like they've already kind of been beaten into submission a little bit, and now it just seems as though they're kind of moving with Bitcoin. I'm not going to say it's one for one, but it's getting there, right? What could that do? Well, a lot of people talk about, when are we going to get into an altcoin season? That might be the precipice to start, that move. All right. Bitcoin gets to its place where, it clears all of the liquidity on the map. It gets to a place where we should test or retest an area that was resistance, retest it into support. It gets there. And then, altcoins are sitting at bear market lows. So, a lot of things could be lining up for some really bullish momentum. It's just the issue of the macroeconomic picture. And Piper's been screaming about it. He's been screaming about it for 6-7 months, right? And it seems that the market has been lagging, right? I think some euphoria came into the market when we got up to 100K, but the data wasn't aligning from a macroeconomic perspective. And I think now we're getting real data. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if you looked at the some of the data that's coming out, it's like half. It was literally, I want to say it was jobs. It came back and it was like half of what they were projecting. Like, when have we seen that? We were getting numbers that were $800,000 to the plus, or 800,000 to the plus, right? Like that's how off the data was that we were getting. So I think that they were, I think they were making the numbers up. I think they were trying to hold the economy together to project how good it was going. And I think they were lying to us is really what it comes down to. I think you're getting what the numbers probably are pretty close to now. At least they're trying to give us the real numbers is what I think. Of course, they're always going to be a little wrong. But yeah, like, I mean, when you go back and you correct data and it's a million off, like, come on, dude. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. So anyways, so looking at that, gave you guys a little bit of hopium here. Let's go over the chat. I did see Army Piper in here. Cruise, baby. Let's go. It was a good time. Definitely a good time. All right, let's read some chat here. Look, rug pull. Yep, you know it. So he thinks he can randomly show up on a Sunday to make for rugby and nightcap, huh? Oh, rug pulling. Yeah. Hey man, I didn't have anything to do. I figured I'd hang out with you guys. So, hey, up to you, bro. You want to chill? We chill. Let's see. Usernames in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Hope all is well on the weekend. And Washington does not suck, for the record. All right. I think they're in first place. And Ovi is getting close to breaking that record, bro. He is getting close. If y'all don't know, Wayne Gretzky's record is about to go down. It is about to go down, and you have to give some respect to that man. Ovi, Alex Ovechkin. That dude he's a stud. He's a stud, man. All right. Let's see here. You guys gotta let me know in the chat. Let's look at a couple altcoins real quick, and then I'll wrap it up. Like I said, complete improv today. Just wanted to hop on, throw a show out there for you guys, and look at the charts to let you know it's gonna. Okay, right now I'm not gonna say it's gonna be okay, but right now we're still okay. We're still okay. It sucks, but we're still okay. And I did want to talk to you that a little bit. Let's see here. The grade 8. You know it. You know it. All right. I don't see much in terms of altcoins in the chat here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up some of the big dogs. I, on a personal level, you know how I've been feeling about Ethereum. Not super bullish. Let's go ahead and look at that. Let's look at that. I haven't done a lot of TA. Oh, yikes. I was doing some backtesting here. Let's get rid of that. Oh gosh, is there a lot of those? There is. There's a ton of them because I was backtesting. I just get rid of them. Goodness gracious, there's a lot of lines in there. There we go. Unfortunately, backtesting is absolutely brutal. So you go through and you're like, all right, let's figure out this strategy. And like, you got to line each and every one, see the percentage gain profit. It's nutty. That's why I'm having Chart Prime update the strategy tester. They are awesome, by the way. They are literally going to update the strategy, the back tester for me, which is super, super cool so that I can back test a strategy. All right. So you can see here, we had this channel that was kind of working its way down. Wasn't looking great. Yeah, look at this, man. So we had the golden pocket here, and you got bounce. Now it's not looking great. All right, what are we on? We're on the weekly. Let's go to the daily real quick. See what that looks like. So this is now, it's almost flipping it. All right, it's kind of breaking out of this channel, and it was staying to the bottom side of it, and it's losing. It looks like the 0.65. Not looking great for Ethereum. What do we have to hang our hats on? Let's see here. Let's go ahead and get this off. So we're losing that. I think that green line was probably, yeah, we were looking for support there, that green line. Look at that. So going back and looking at 2,500, look at the beautiful retest, right? So you see support, retest, right? Talk about that OC retest, man. It wicked up hard. That's when the whole market pumped that one day, for one day. And then boof. So coming back left on the chart, let's take a look-see. I think we could take a fixed range volume profile on this entire range right here. So let's do that. Let's take a look here. All right. Let's call this the range. Oh, look at that. So that the value area low lined up with the horizontal level of support. Again, the retest breakdown, not ideal. Man, that's tough. I mean, if you're talking about bear market lows, see, this is one of the things that I've been trying to talk about, but nobody damn listens to me. All right, 125%. That's still a really nice move. It just doesn't, I don't think it's really, is that June 22? Yeah. All right, so it just really hasn't kept up. You're looking at a lot of these things, or Bitcoin, like, just looks different, right? The price action looks like it's kind of continuing to go up, right? We set a higher high in terms of going back to 2021 for Bitcoin. We never did that for Ethereum. So that's kind of like my struggle right now for Ethereum. Like, it should have, in theory, set at least a higher high. Because remember with Bitcoin, we just took a very simple trend line and we're like, hey, let's draw it. And I'm not even gonna like make it go through the high to high just because that looks a little bit. But let's take it where you see the bulk of the price action. See how you find support and resistance right there? So I'm kind of splitting it. I'm not even taking the high. All right. So what does that mean? I'm taking a conservative trend line off of these two areas. It's conservative. So I think the high for Bitcoin was right around there. I mean, that's 59, 6,000. Like, would anybody have been surprised if we saw a $6,000 Ethereum this cycle? Or when Bitcoin around Bitcoin going to its all-time high? I wouldn't. I would have never thought twice about it. But we never made it. We didn't even go to 4,800. We didn't even we didn't even get to the previous all-time high in 2021. That I don't understand. That's why I'm not super like bullish on Ethereum. I mean, minus, some of the other things I've talked about before, is that it's not keeping up. So, who knows? Like, down the road, Ethereum will probably still do well. It's just other things have outperformed it. So, all right, let's see. What do you got here? Bottom side. Let's find you guys something some hopium here. But it's kind of hard. I'll be honest with you. This is an old line, but I can see what I'm looking at about 1,800. I think I actually bought Ethereum at 1,800 at one point, because I know I sold right around 4K. This one right here, it was a psychological thing too. I thought there would be a pullback, and that's all I was basing it off of. I thought there'd be a pullback before ultimately making a bigger move up. Never made it. Never made that bigger move up. But 1,800 makes sense if you're just kind of looking at like price action from a horizontal perspective. Like, where did you see support, resistance? You can see a lot of price action in there. Let's actually do a fixed range volume profile on that area as well. All right, so we'll call that, and we'll take it to there. All right, so looking for the value area high, value area low. All right, so value area high of that range actually goes all the way up here. Look how it aligns with a lot of this. And you got supports. Look at the crazy wicks that you had off of that area. Interesting. Very interesting. But point of control brings you all the way down to about 15.6. And I would say, like, if you're looking at everything, I mean, this is nice. I would actually, man, that'd be tough. But you got a little bit of a range there between 18 and 1750, but point of control of the range right there. So, you know, that could be ripe for the taking. Come down, retest that area. That's tough, man. Really, really tough. This is one of those things is like, do you have conviction? If you have a conviction, then it's something you maybe take a flyer on. But you can see trend is now starting to work its way down very clearly. Very clearly for Ethereum. So you're really going to have to look for a change in structure. And looking for that, just kind of looking at some of the price action here. Where would I feel more comfortable? You'd have to get over the 200. You'd have to get over the dynamic reactor. And I would say kind of this area right here. All right, so when I say that, this area right here, and you can see where it kind of worked its way there. I would want to get over all of this right in this area. So that's going to continue to work its way down. You're going to reestablish the range at some point, but you probably want to get over top of that. So, yep, there's a long move in between it. I got it. But again, if you're trying to stay with the trend, right? You don't want to fight the trend. If you're trying to stay with the trend, then again, you're going to have to wait to get through a lot of resistance right now for Ethereum on the daily, which is not really ideal. So even here, I mean, you're looking at your value area low now, kind of establishing and aligning, you know, with this horizontal. So I think that might be a play that you could look at just as I'm thinking out loud, just kind of looking at this. If you get a retest over this is the value area high of a previous range, right? Kind of aligns. If you can reestablish in here, all right, just kind of extending that, reestablish, get a little retest, and then look for something. But I do think you're going to get resistance right there. But that wouldn't be a bad move. But of course, the market has to turn around. All right, so taking a long position is not really what I'd be honestly looking for. As the trend is working its way down, I'd probably be looking for quite the opposite. Just as the trend is working its way down. So again, it's taking a flyer. Could just be clearing out some liquidity right now. Reestablishes the range. You could look for a move like that. But as the trend continues to work its way down, right? You can see this trend is going down. You might actually look for a little bit of a rebound where price action comes up and then rejects and comes back down. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is you can play this either way, right? The trend is going down, so I would be a little bit more comfortable with, you know, aligning with the trend and taking positions that align with the trend. But I'm not going to play, you know, something that is outside of this range. I'm going to look for it to either reestablish the range or to retest an area that we have already confirmed that there should be price action. There should be resistance in this area, right? So this would be more of a scalp or an intraday type look. Okay, so you're looking at 25.5 or 25.56, we'll say. Obviously not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the dollar, but you're going to look in that area for a little bit, you know, I would say more of an intraday type trade. Okay, so one of the things you want to look for, let's look at this. All right, let's make it a little bit bigger. All right, so we can really understand what I would be looking for if I was looking for an entry here. If the trend continue to work its way down, get a little bit of rebound in the market, there should be liquidity right here. Theoretically, there should be liquidity. So what happens? You get the wick up, and it comes right back down into the range, okay? So the bar closes in here. So wick up, liquidity is gone, takes the liquidity, all right? Gets longs trapped. So people get bullish once it gets here. And then the bar ends up closing down here. So all the long positions are trapped up here again. And it has wiped out the liquidity. And then you would be looking for that movement of price action down. Okay, so that's when I'm looking at something like this. When I'm saying, hey, it could come up here, hit resistance, and then go down. I don't think that it would necessarily just wick off of this horizontal, I would be looking for it to take some liquidity, grab some liquidity, and then reestablish the range. And then that is when I would really look at taking a short position. All right, because you want to see the candles are going to tell you things. Okay, it's not just a wick off of this. Like, yeah, that tells you there is resistance there, but you know, I need to see a little bit more than just a wick off of here. At that point, if I just get a wick off of here, then I'm going to have to wait to see, you know, the next candle close to see what kind of, you know, momentum I'm getting off of that area. So that isn't telling me, by the time that's played out, you could get into a situation where the next candle closes and it's already halfway down the range. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, you got to kind of look for those things. And then, do you think it's going to go from the middle of the range all the way down? Who knows? So this is why I look for this one in particular more so than, you know, multiple. Now, that's a time frame thing too. Like, I would say look for this, you know, on, I'm not going to say a smaller time frame, but, you know, 15 minutes, an hour, like you can do it probably with both of those. Now, if you're on a smaller time frame, all of this looks different, and that kind of changes the game. And then you start getting into Alex O's world of scalping. All right, let's see here. See what you guys got going on. Piper plan DCA tomorrow, dude. If you guys are not part of that, let me tell you, you should be. Okay, so I think for anyone that's in the Discord, I want to say that we go through Bitcoin, the DCA strategy on that. And if you're actually upperclassmen, then we go through multiple. Okay, I think there's like 5 or 6 different assets that we give a DCA plan for. And we've done, like, Piper has done all the back testing. Okay, so like there's certain times in the market that you should DCA more into, right? So it's proportional to that. And there's assets that come out on some weeks and it's just like, don't DCA. Okay, so it's a matter of just going back through the historicals and looking at the data and saying, you know, when will this strategy be the most successful? The thing that I love about the strategy, though, is that we not only are giving you that, we're telling you when to get out of the market, right? So that is the piece that most people aren't giving you. Most of what they're giving you is, hey, here's my trade setups. This is when you get in. This is it. Good luck, you know, like on you when you get out, right? Because that protects them as the content creator. Like, hey, I gave you this trade signal. I gave you this trade setup. Now, if you're in their paid for Discords, you'll probably get more than that. But a lot of times on YouTube, a lot of the stuff is kind of put behind paywalls. Unfortunately, you just look at that macro top-down analysis, and that's kind of what they give you. But the DCA strategy is fire. So we've kind of gone back. We've done Piper again. Piper's done the math. He's done the legwork. All right. So, but I would say definitely check into that. It is something that could be very, very valuable to you. And, you know, of course, you know, as much as we like trading, the tried and true method is DCA. And when it comes down to my like traditional stocks and things of that nature, I DCA. Right. And it's been really good for me. So I will say I am a believer in DCA, no doubt about it. All right, let's see here. Talking smack about OV. You can kiss my butt. Let's keep moving down here. All right. Weekly charts on a lot of alts are not good. Lower lows, higher lows. Lower lows, higher lows. Yeah, no doubt. That's what I say. Like, the altcoins have been getting smacked, bro. Like, straight up. But Ethereum should have been, you know, it's the second largest like cryptocurrency. There's definitely like, it should have followed a little bit closer to Bitcoin. And let's be real. Let's be real about it. 2 years ago, I won't say everyone, a lot of people were saying that Ethereum would exponentially outperform Bitcoin in the next cycle. I heard it over and over and over again. And now it is crickets, bro. It is absolute crickets. You know, if you go back and pull the tapes, if you go back, you're going to hear that over and over again. There's no doubt about it. People were super bullish on Ethereum, especially when it set its all-time high. All right. They're like, hey, the smart contracts, it's just better. Everything's trading. But you understand, too, that the NFT hype train was going then, right? So there was a lot of transactions that were actually happening on Ethereum. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about it. But there's other options out there. You got AVAX, you got Solana, you got Cardano. Like whether you like them or love them or hate them or whatever the case may be, there's other options out there, and they're doing it cheaper and they're doing it faster. And in America, we like that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cheaper and faster. Sign us up, man. We're big dumb animals, and that's what we like. So there you go. All right. Crypto Cash. I'm ready to buy BTC at 50K. So excited. You know what? Let's look at that, Cash. Let's look at that, man. I want to see this 50K thing here that we're talking about. Let's go to the charts. Oh my gosh, that almost looks like a schlong. I gotta get off that. Man, schlonging, I guess. All right, let's go to Bitcoin. What was I doing? There it is. It's my chart. 50K. So you want to go all the way to the bottom of the previous range. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. See, this is one of the things. This is kind of the approach I'm taking to now. Is I'm just kind of layering in as I start hitting these key levels. All right. Boom, layer it in. Boom, layer it in. Boom, layer it in. Boom. I'm going to really layer in, right? This is my way of DCAing in. I'm just finding key levels as it works its way down because I truly believe it's not going to zero. So it's just a way for me, one, to maintain exposure to DCA in, not time-based, but based on key levels. All right. It's a little bit different than some people do. But that, for me, I feel like I'm getting the better percentage return by layering into levels vice arbitrarily layering in by time, because you never know where Bitcoin's going to be at during that time. And so that's kind of why I'm taking this approach. Like, you know, like as I'm saying, hey, like take your profits, like when I'm saying, hey, take your profits, that means I'm kind of anticipating some pullback. All right, so let me see here. What is the percentage move off of that? I'm guessing it's probably somewhere around 50 or 60, but let's measure it. Let's take the high. It's about 50K. There you go. 50. There it is. 55%, 50 to 60. And you do see, I do have this this highlighted here in orange. It's very plausible. It's very plausible. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't be against it. The thing that gives me concern is then we break kind of the structure, right? We reestablish this previous range, but it's very much, it could very much happen. But the thing that like you gotta wonder about is how crazy our institution's gonna go when we start getting down to the bottom of this channel here, right? This channel that's been support. All right, now this is the channel. We would reestablish the channel. We're looking at very large levels of liquidity as well as horizontal levels of support at around 60K. What I'm going to say to you, Cash, is it may come down here, but I'm going to beat your ass to the punch, man, because I'm going to get in probably here. All right, I'm going to try to beat the smart money. So you could wait for it, but it's a game. It's a game. There's no doubt about it. So that'll probably be where I layer in, some more. But I'll tell you, it'll be a little bit of capital, a little bit of capital, a lot of bit of capital, little bit of capital, little bit of capital. All right. And that's the way I'm going to play it, because this is me anticipating us keeping structure, keeping the bullish momentum kind of going up and right. So that's what I'll be looking at. My DCA here will probably be twice as much as it is here and here, even though these are better prices. This is just an anticipation of us keeping this move going up and right, because ultimately when it comes down to it, one of the things that, I've really flipped my mindset on is hearing very wealthy people talk, and they're like, hey, it's not really about the short term. It's where do you think this is going to be long term? And when I take that step back, I'm like, okay, well, 5 to 6 years. Let me think about Apple and some of my other investments that have done really well over time. I think Bitcoin will be higher in price, but I'm not here to be that guy to be like, it's going to 100 and whatever, 200, 300,000. Like I'm not doing that. I'll play along when we're doing some price predictions and all that stuff, which is under my prediction for the record. Currently, we are under, just saying, but I just think long term it's a good investment. So that's kind of why I'm taking the approach I am. If we start getting back down to like bear market lows of the previous bear market, you better believe like I'm probably gonna go ham on investing in Bitcoin, like stupid stuff. And there's no doubt about it. And of course you'll see the receipts with me. I ain't hiding it. So, all right, Alex O, my dude, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Let's see what else we got here. Retro Mike Tech. TA is TA. All right, well, let me back up here. TradeFly 73,490 on Bitcoin is when I will swing long structure is all. 73,490. Let's look at that. I mean, you're right there in the neighborhood, bro. Like, I mean, I'm looking, the top of my box is at 74 too. So, I don't know. It seems like we're in agreement. More so. Let's see what else we got. Cheaper equals more cash grabs and scams. If it's cheap, do it. It will be done. You talking about altcoins more so? Total market cap is concerning. In crypto, we have to wait, but alts, man, oh man. Yeah, so I mean, I am hoping that people are getting smarter and they're starting to trend away from altcoins right now, because it's a little bit of a casino out there. The thing that I like try to tell people is like find something that has some utility. Like if you're gambling and you're gambling and you're getting back, if you're getting behind a community, like cool, man, like at least like you're being honest with yourself. Like, but if you're getting behind some of these altcoins and thinking that you're going to be the next millionaire because it just has to go to $1 for you to be a millionaire, you're probably going to get wiped out. Like, to be real with you, especially if it has no utility, if it doesn't do anything, you're just riding a hype machine. That is literally what you're doing. You are riding a hype machine, hoping it goes up. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Let's see. And then, yeah, total market cap. That's one thing I do like to look at. I actually have had some really good trades off the total market cap, more so than, Bitcoin price action itself. I've had a couple of really good trades. That being said, yeah, I mean, look though. I mean, so now we're kind of getting that. Here's something for you. We're getting in that world for total market cap that we're talking about. Like we would be technically in that green zone for total market cap. All right. And I mean, whether you want to take this trend line or not, we can hide that, but could retest that area. But you have this horizontal. Okay. So you see this horizontal. Look, we got a big bounce off of that horizontal. And this was here probably a year ago. Trying to think. This has been here for a long time. I can tell you that because I haven't traded off the total market cap and it's probably been more than a year. So let's hide market dynamics, get rid of that, clean up the chart a little bit. Let's see. Let's go horizontal. There we go. And then we'll do green. Sweet. Yeah, so I mean, you're coming up on an area of support. Again, you've lost the 200. This actually looks worse than Bitcoin. And that's because of the altcoins, which I think you said. It is tough, brother. It is tough to look at. But again, you're still okay right now. Let's do a just a trend line here. So yeah, I mean, if you're taking look where you see the bulk of the price range. Sometimes you wick underneath of it or go underneath of it. But look what you see. You see the support right here? Like, let's zoom in just a little bit. So you're finding support there. It didn't close under it. That one, it did. But look, one, 2, we'll call it. Even here is a wick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times you followed this trend, just leading back to October 23. Actually adjust that just a little bit. There you go. So is there some hopium? Maybe. I mean, I think I probably don't have the chart on, do I? It's harder. My B. Chart. What up, Joe? Good to see you, brother. So yeah, so this is what I was talking about right here. Is this, I just drew this trend line. Just drew the, well, didn't draw this horizontal. This horizontal was already here. But basically what I'm saying is it kind of lines up with the Bitcoin chart, pretty, not perfectly, but like if you were taking it like in parallel, you're looking at this horizontal where there's resistance, right? So you're kind of like, you're coming down to that zone where you're retesting what was resistance, significant resistance for the total market cap. You're retesting it and seeing if you can find support there right now. You also have a trend line working its way up as well, but you are getting under the 200, which is the red line there. You're under the dynamic reactor. Dynamic reactor is flipped. It is now trending bearish. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look great, but I think there's some opportunities, you know, for a bounce. For sure. So let's look at this. This is one thing I like doing. Now we can't move the chart because it gets weird if you do. But this was what I was kind of talking about earlier, is when you see institutions coming in and out. And, you know, this right here, all of this, where it's kind of like up to the line, most of that is retail. And then you get like these spikes, these weird spikes, not weird spikes, but where like more money flows into the market. And like this right here is more likely, like where you see all of this volume up above the median. This is institutions leaving the market. This is them dumping it on your face, right? This is where they come back in. Retail follows, jumps in with them. And then you start getting, oh, sorry, I moved it. You start getting them taking profits again. All right. So it's one of the things you can kind of look at to kind of get an idea of kind of when the institutional investment is kind of coming in and out of the market. What did I do one that was just so obvious? It was like stupid obvious. I think it was Rune. Let me see here. You could see like when whales moved in and out. And I was like, do not take a long on that. I think I was doing that on chart hackers or something. Was it Rune? Do I even have Rune on here anymore? I don't know. Oh, good. Maybe it was down. Oh, there it is. Yep. So they asked me to look at it. This is what I was looking at. Check this out. This one was like clear as day. Check this out. I want you guys to do this a little bit. Like, you can see right here. Look at where the price action is. This is on Rune. Clear that up just a little bit. Okay. Matter of fact, try to ignore the price action. Okay? Try to ignore that. If you were to draw a line, you know, find the median of price action, it's like all through here, right? That's typically retail. Now, let's circle this. Or actually, let's just draw a line to a vertical line. Retail comes in. And then retail, or not retail. Big money. Big money comes in, big money leaves. Let's just bring it. Really, the start of it is right here. But here or there, whatever. So really, I guess, yeah, it started right here. That's why I have the arrow right there. And that's probably everyone following. Let's go right here to the first biggest wick, we'll say. You can see how it kind of works its way up. So what I'm trying to get at right here is this is where they play from here to here. Okay, that's where they're playing. So whatever big money they had in there, 183%. And we're trying to catch everything else in between. So, you know, that's something for you guys to kind of keep an eye on and understand, right? Can you imagine how they've seen the portfolios swing, though, when they got all the way up here and didn't take profits? But they were smart enough to take profits here. Got in here, got out here, 183%. And, you know, we're just fighting for scraps in between. All right. What up? CTS Rhythm. How you doing, bro? Hope all is well. Let's see here. All right. What do you got here, Polio? Dropping all kinds of stuff in here. Showing off his tan. I'm not showing off my tan, man. All right. I only have one camera up. It's dark in here. Literally, this is like a straight, I don't know, just basic setup. Let's see. All right, what were you saying, Polio? Previous daily range SFP is 73,490 zone. If I see divs starting to stack as we get to those levels, we break that to 73-ish area, and then we will see the bottom at 49K. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, if you see a swing failure pattern, though, like, I guess you're saying to the downside. I don't know, bro. Like I said, the zone there at about 73 to like 70, there's a zone in there. And that's probably where I'd be looking for some price action. All right. Kelly, what's up to you? Good to see you. Do you think we're headed down to the 70s? Oh, all right. Well, so I talked a lot about that. But I will revisit it for you real quick. It's very possible. Let me put it that way. And so just to quickly rehash, it would keep bullish structure. There's liquidity here. There's the golden pocket, and there's a horizontal that we've yet to retest. So you had resistance, very clear. You didn't flip it yet. You didn't flip what was resistance. I mean, you did, but you didn't, right? You didn't come down for a true retest and flip this area of resistance into support. There's just a lot of good reasons to see price action come here, and it's still healthy and okay. And it's not even, it wouldn't even be your pullback from your 2021, your first high there, right? So that was, I think, about 50-some% is what we kind of measured out. From high to here is 34%, which actually aligns with your previous low. All right, so your previous range low was 33%, and that was a day 160. Okay, so when I took the 28%, that was a day 110. So it looks away. It's kind of crazy. Remember when I said, I was like, hey, it's not perfect, but you're seeing like kind of that M pattern, a little bit of an M pattern. I pointed it out to you guys before on the nightcap, and then you're getting a little bit of an M pattern up here, and then you broke down. All right, so there's a little bit of that going on. 33% here, that would be 34% there. It would make a lot of sense. And so that is why I will be putting some capital into a position here at that area. And I'll say mildly comfortable with it. Problem that I don't like is being, trending away from the 200 SMA dynamic reactor. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons that it's a risky play, but for me, this will be a DCA play. So I'm dollar cost averaging based on significant price levels. Okay, so that was what I was talking about earlier. So can it happen? Yep, it can happen. But for me, that's where I'm probably going to buy, right? And then we'll see what happens. We'll look for the volume. We'll see like our institution starting to flow into the game and taking that opportunity as well. And that could change a lot, right? If they start jumping in, then things get bullish again. Everything flips around. Investors jump in, yada, yada. If not, what do? We wait until we get to our next level. And it's just a very conservative, safe approach to DCAN. And then you start looking for the levels down here. And this is where, you know, Cash was talking about. He thinks about 50K makes sense. And it may. It may make sense. But again, I'll DCA. So that's kind of the way I get into the market. I get my exposure to the market. I'm lowering my cost basis as price action continues to work its way down. This is very hard if you're all in right now. And that's why we always say keep some capital on the side. Don't go all in, especially if you're trading. If you're trading, then, you know, 1 to 2%. I think Alex does 1%. I'm a little more comfortable with 2. You know, keep those a little lower, right? Like work your way up to having more capital so that you can invest more capital, and then kind of go that route. And if you're taking like this is your investment, like if you're treating it like an IRA or a 401k type, you know, that type of strategy, then you're DCAN. And you can do it time-based, or you can do it kind of like I'm doing, which is I'm taking these key levels. And so that's just kind of my approach right now. Very conservative, and, you know, I'm trying, you know, to, in a sense, protect my money, by not just kind of going all in on this. So there you go. Just looking. Oh, move that. That is not. Was that where it was? There it is. There it is. All right. I think that is enough for the day. Trade flies come back. You know it, man. You know it. All right. I like that for a long swing. Yeah, man. I do too. I do too. I think, you know, I may open up a swing on that just to see. Again, you know, stop loss will probably be the bottom of the range there. And then I may open up a swing somewhere in that area of about 74, and then just put something, you know, under 70K and see how that plays out. Because again, liquidity is here too. A lot of times just that alone, when it comes down and clears out the liquidity, you get bounces just because there's no more to chase. So username, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Just wanted to jump on here and say what's up to everybody. Let everyone know. It should be okay. Should be okay. It can be okay. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Andrea, good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going to go ahead and start getting out of here. All right, fam. Thank you for being here. Again, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. We would appreciate that. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Love you a long time. Trade safe. Be safe. And I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.